RJF Enterprises started in 2010 from an existing ceramic manufacturer that had been around for 20 years prior. Located in Mounds, Illinois, we ship coast to coast and internationally. Everything we make in our facility is made from raw materials, and this is our process. We get our slip from a local slip maker who delivers it to us in a tanker truck. The slip is pumped from outside through a series of screens to filter out the debris into a 1,500-gallon holding tank. A continuous sweep keeps the slip from setting up. The slip is pumped into overhead lines above our casting benches, which tee off to hanging fire hoses. These hoses terminate with a valve to control the flow of slip. Each mold is filled 90% to the top to allow air bubbles to escape. Then, it is topped off. The slip sits in the molds for roughly 45 minutes as the plaster mold absorbs the moisture from the slip contacting the sides. After the slip sets, the mold is carefully tipped over and the remaining liquid slip is dumped into a buggy. The buggy is wheeled to one of our 2 mixing pits to be emptied back into our screening process. The molds are now ready to be trimmed. A plastic knife is used to clean the excess slip from the well of the mold. The ware must sit in the molds until it is dry enough to stand on its own. Once it is dry, they are ready to be pulled. The edges of the mold are scraped to clear any excess, and the piece is gently put on the boards. The pieces in this state are now called greenware. The molds are strapped and put back up for the next pour. Full boards are carried and placed on rolling racks to dry. The greenware sits for 1 full day before it is worked on by the finishers. The finishers first locate any leaning pieces and discard them. They then begin to clean the greenware of any inconsistencies from the casting process. A top hole is put in the greenware, and the seams are trimmed with a sharp knife. Hot water and a sponge are used to wash the greenware and give it a consistent finish. When a board is completed, it is placed back on the rolling racks again to dry. Recycling and reusing material is a major priority for our company. Any pieces or scraps we discard in the greenware stage are collected in barrels and sent to our second mixing pit to be blended back into liquid slip, pumped through our screening process, and back into our holding tank. The finished greenware pieces that have had time to dry are now ready to be fired. Our kiln is an electric cycle kiln. A rotating table carries the ware through 3 firing stages. It takes about 4 hours for ware to make 1 full rotation through the heat up, firing, and cool down process. The firebox, which contains the heating elements, fires greenware to 1750 degrees. When the pieces come out of the kiln, they are a strong, hardened, white ware called bisque. Bisque pieces are stacked on skids waiting to be glazed or decorated. Our glazes are made from a mixture of powdered glass called frit and stain, which give the glaze its color. These are carefully measured according to the formulas that we create and record. A mixer stirs water to ensure an even blend as the materials are added. This is also where we create new formulas with small test trials. With the glaze mixed and the bisque pieces ready, our glazer prepares the ware to be sprayed. She hangs the bisque on her glazing wheel from the top hole. The pieces are quickly spun as the glazer runs the spray gun along the contour of the piece. The wheel slowly turns, bringing the next piece in line to be sprayed. Each piece must get 3 passes of glaze before it's ready to be taken down, put on boards, and yet again put up on the rolling racks. The glazed pieces are loaded back into the kiln for their second and final firing. This time being fired at 1850 degrees. The melted and cooled glaze now gives the piece the glossy, glass-like look we associate with ceramic. Pieces that require decorating go to our decorator. She employs many techniques to create a multitude of finishes. Here, she is wiping an ink over the piece, then wiping the ink off of the high spots to create an aged look. A high gloss clear coat seals the ink on the piece and protects the finish from scratching and flaking. In addition to ceramic, we also have a break-resistant resin department. Resin is dispensed from the barrel and weighed. A catalyst or hardening agent is added to the resin to enable it to set up. The slowly thickening resin is poured into rubber molds. Time is of the essence in getting the resin into the molds before it completely hardens. A rotocast machine allows us to do more intricate pieces with using less material because the resin is spun to the sides of the mold, leaving the center hollow. After only a few short minutes, the pieces are ready to come out. An air gun is used to blow the pieces out of the molds without damaging the rubber. The molds are strapped back up and ready to be poured again. The raw resin pieces are then finished to take the seams and imperfections out of the surface. Our assembly and wiring department can work on a completely customizable program. Each order is built to exact customer specifications and wired to the UL standard of safety. Packaging is the last stop for our product. Again, a completely customizable process. Here we see our ground shipment packaging with expanding foam in place bags. From here, shipments are sent all over the world with our product that was created with hard work, skill, and American ingenuity.